Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. Today we're talking Starfield. For anyone that's recently subscribed, I really appreciate it. Can't tell you how thankful I am for it. Wasn't really expecting much when I started this, but it's pretty cool that I've been getting some positive vibes. So thanks again. Really stoked every time I see a comment or a sub. So thank you very much. With that said, topic of the day. This one comes from the No Sodium Starfield Reddit, which is a really fun place if you want to be just surrounded by more positive people on the game. I exist in both communities, but someone's throwing a little salt in the No Sodium channel, so figured I would jump in and have some fun with it. Post says, what's the appeal of Starfield? I did about 6 non-mission board side quests. All were kill, fetch. This is even below Fallout 4 standard. The sandbox element doesn't seem to click either. Money comes too fast. Genuine question. Does it get better? All right. Well, first of all, I don't know if it's a genuine question, man. To be honest, I think you're trolling a little bit. And the community agrees. Some of the comments said, this has to be someone trying to get rage out of us. This is rage bait. This one must be rage bait. Seriously, get into the actual story factions rather than just the quest. All right, I'll bite. And I'm going to take it in a different direction. Because what you're really asking is, what do I love about Starfield? What makes the game great, in my opinion? And that's where I'm going to go with it. So if you were trying to get some rage bait out of me, you're not going to get it. You're going to get some positive vibes instead on this one. So what do I love about Starfield? Starfield is the space RPG I always wanted and thought about as a kid growing up. This open-ended world where I can create characters, make spaceships, fly around, have adventures, create my own house, and just really live and exist in this world. And nobody does that better than Bethesda in general. But the thing with Bethesda is I was a huge Skyrim fan. I was a huge Fallout fan. I continue to be. Shouldn't say was, am. But neither of them really hit the setting that I love. I love Star Wars, Star Trek, anything sci-fi, space. That's my thing. So when Bethesda started throwing little hints out to the internet on this upcoming game, which, mind you, I'm playing Fallout 4 at the time. I'm obsessed with Fallout 4, and I'd already played Skyrim, and I was obsessed with that. And all of a sudden, these rumors started popping up. Bethesda trademarked Starfield. It's like, what's this, right? And then a Reddit community was created. That one I exist in today, the one that has 900,000 people in it. The thing was like 2 of us, 3 of us, 4 of us, 10 of us, 100 of us, 200 of us. And I wasn't there for 2. I was there for like 200, 100, something like that. But the reality is, there was all these like conspiracies. There was like leaked footage that we didn't know if was real of a character running around with a spaceship on the moon. They looked nothing like, it does now, by the way. There was things like Bethesda's website suddenly had like some stars in the banner at the bottom. And we were like, this is it. Starfield could be real. And then all of a sudden, there was like this announcement that the thing was actually happening. And like that community was just so stoked. And I was so stoked on this idea of Skyrim in space or Fallout in space. Oh my God, they're going to take what they did with Skyrim and Fallout, which are very similar games, by the way, in their own settings. If you're into apocalyptic stuff, Fallout is freaking awesome. If you're into fantasy elements, Skyrim is awesome. But like I said, oh my God, we're getting Skyrim in space. I'm getting a Mass Effect type of game made by Bethesda where I have freedom to just go and do what I want and exist in the way I want, mod it to the way I want. I can't wait for this thing. Can this be real? And then as the days went on, we get more and more leaks. And then we got release dates. And that was like a huge thing. And then the release date keep getting pushed and pushed and pushed. And Microsoft came into the picture. And it was like, will this thing live? Will this thing survive? And I'll never forget, like, the date that it finally launched. I'd probably been following the game 3 to 5 years, And I'll never forget launch day. Pay an extra $30 to have it a week early. Dude, I've been waiting 5 years I would have paid $100. And you know what? Comments don't get excited. I'm making a point. I'm not suggesting we make it $100 more pre-launch to get it a week early, but you get the point. I loved these games so much, and I was just so stoked. So, pre-launch date, week early, had the thing, started playing the thing. And Starfield for me, believe it or not, and this is kind of funny too, I want to bring this up, like when I started playing Starfield, I actually didn't like it as much as Fallout and Skyrim. And I want to be completely honest with that. I come upstairs at night, I'd played 6 or 7 hours the first night, of which I probably spent 2 making a character, because that's how I am, if not 3. But I come upstairs and my wife's like, "Are you in love with it? Are you stoked?" And I was kind of like, I don't know. It wasn't hitting the same. It wasn't feeling the same. Something was off. Something was different, right? And then I played a second night, and I felt a little better. I was like, all right. I think it's starting to hit its pace a little bit. It's feeling more like a Bethesda game now. Maybe some of these new systems I'm not used to and things within this type of world. Every other Bethesda game had been a single map. And I really did think Skyrim, like the way it starts, and Fallout, the way it starts, those intros are way stronger than wandering around in a cave. I do. I think they had a stronger intro. The first hour or so, Fallout or Skyrim, like you're in it. Where Starfield, it is a slower pace. It is a different vibe. And then the third night I get on, and I didn't really get much done. And that was another thing with Starfield too, like right off the bat, where it's like, you realize in a hurry after about the first 20 hours or so that this is a slow burner. If you have small gaming sessions of like 2 hours, you might get on Starfield one night and not have any action at all. And it takes like getting used to and existing in this world. And the world's probably best explored when you have like a good 4 to 8 hour session that you can just spend some time and you can get involved in the world and you're in these conversations and you're modifying and tweaking things and figuring out where you want to go and planning your trips and planning your adventure. And then maybe at the end of the night, you have that adventure and it's like the coolest thing ever. It's like it builds up like a climax throughout the night. But it takes some time to get used to. So it wasn't really for me until like the 20 to 40 hour mark that Starfield really started to hit. And by 80 hours, suddenly, this is my life. Suddenly, I'm on Reddit more than I'd ever been on Reddit. When I'm not playing, I'm on Reddit. And I'm being part of this community. And when I'm at work, I'm waiting to get home and play Starfield. And I'm playing Starfield until the wee hours of the night, every single night. And I'm just loving every minute of it. And like, I'd say like that time from like, maybe like 80 hours to like 300 hours just evaporated. Like I was so lost in the world and so excited about it. And then I took a break. So this was before Creations came out, and I was playing it on console at the time. I do play it on PC and console now. I took a break from it for a couple months, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to fire up Fallout and Skyrim. I'm going to go back to my favorite games, and I'm going to play them while I wait for some of these updates to happen. And you know what happened? And this is the moment where it really was like eye-opening to me, is when I went back and played Skyrim, I missed playing Starfield. And when I went to play Fallout 4, I missed playing Starfield. And so like I'm like, I'm just going to start a new character in Starfield in midst of Creations. And I started a new character in Starfield after taking maybe like a 2 to 3 month break. And I have never taken another break since. I've been playing Starfield ever since that moment and existing in that community. And we're coming up on what, like 2.5, 3 years now? So like this is getting to the point where now it's 2.5 years, I guess, whatever. But this is getting to the point now where this is something special. If I go look at my top played games of all time, none of them held my attention for this amount of time. When Destiny launched, that was a huge one for me. Like that was one where I would get off work every day and just play Destiny until I go to bed. And I had a group of friends, and we did that for about a year straight. And we put like 1,000+ hours into that game. We're 2.5 times past what I put into Destiny, which is my second most played game ever. When I look at Fallout 4, I probably had like 500 hours in Fallout 4. When I look at Skyrim, I had like 500 hours in Skyrim. If my projections are correct, I mean, we're going to triple, quadruple what I did with those games with this game which is just crazy to me. It's just crazy to me. So as someone coming into the game, what is there to love about Starfield? I mean, that's the question. What is it that's so gripping and addicting that I think you should play the game? And I think you got to give the game time to simmer for sure. And by the way, going back to the original post of saying like, hey, played the game for 6 quests, 6 minutes, whatever the hell he said, didn't know if I liked it, moved on. Like, I would have done the same thing if I played the game for 6 minutes. If I'm gauging games on 6 minutes of gameplay or 6 quests of gameplay, and I don't even know how he's doing this, like, to be honest, it makes no sense whatsoever. If he's playing the main quests, those aren't fetch quests. I don't know what he would be doing. He said he's not on the mission boards. None of this lines up. None of this makes sense. I don't think it's a real scenario. I definitely think it's rage bait. But, you know, I would say for any new person coming into Starfield, let it simmer. Let it settle. Take your time. Realize it's a single player experience and there's no rush on getting a level up. There's no rush on getting the right gear. There's no rush on getting the right places. Our minds are so formulated now about this idea that we're in this hurry to stay relevant with the rest of the player base. And you got to retool yourself when you're playing Starfield to like, it doesn't matter if I didn't gain a level that night. It doesn't matter what my stats are. It doesn't matter how powerful my ship is. It doesn't matter how far into the galaxy I've gotten. None of this matters because it's just my own experience. And once you learn to play like that, I could land on Neon the first time, and I spent just like 20 to 30 hours in Neon. Just like I got a career in Neon. I did some bad things in Neon. I just enjoyed Neon. And I just like, as I walked around Neon, would hear people having conversations and I'd go up to them and they'd take me on quests and things like that. And I was doing everything from joining gangs to putting posters on the wall to, you know, starting my own drug company of some sort, right? And it's just like, dude, if you can take in every experience like that and just get lost in the world and live in that world, like it is a super cool game. And if you're into like sci-fi and space, like this is probably the game for you. If you're into like aliens and more like Star Wars-y like fan fiction, and then the Creations is great for you, by the way. And for everybody that thinks, I always like to correct everybody on this real quick. Creations is in-game built bolt-on mods that allow you to cater your experience to yourself in a way you've never experienced in mods before. You go in the main menu, you click Creations, you search for what you would like to do to change your game. It pops up, you click the creation, you click download, you return to the main menu screen and hit continue, and that is in your game. And by the way, most of these are free. That's the other thing. Oh, create paid mods, blah. Nope. Most of them are free. 99% of them are free. And sometimes they'll have a paid version if you want to support the author. For anybody that hates on Creations, educate yourself on Creations better. Creations is one of the, if not the coolest thing about these games, is not only that you exist in the super cool world of your setting. You want fantasy, like I said, Skyrim. You want apocalyptic, Fallout. You want space, Starfield. You choose that setting, then you create a character, and then you cater the world to your own liking. You want weapons to look different. You want your character to look different. You want different ship parts. You want different landing locations. You want different quests. You want different space suits. You want different apparel. You want different anything, combat, fuel management, whatever it happens to be. You just go in Creations and you find the things you want. And what I do is anytime I create a new character, I come up with the character in my head, and then I look for Creations for about a week, support that character, right? And then I download all those Creations and I start a new save, and then I create that character and I run that playthrough. And it's the coolest thing in the world. It's like the coolest thing in the world. Like every other game I play, I feel completely pigeonholed into like how the developers wanted me to experience and who they wanted me to be. In Bethesda, I literally just feel like it's a big role-playing world. It's like you're a kid and you're just pretending. You know, like it's like when you were a kid, you just made stuff up in your head and pretended this little world, except you do it in a video game. It's the coolest fucking thing ever. And that's why I love Starfield. That's the singular reason I love Starfield. And I think I'll leave it there, guys. I appreciate anybody who listened to this whole rant. If you enjoy this kind of content, consider subscribing. and we'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day.